Yo, what's happening, guys? How are you doing? This is Rob of Ro2R Review. Welcome back to the channel. So we are right now in the second week of April, which means we are just in the very beginning of the second quarter of the year 2019, which is crazy. Time goes by way too fast, and the older you get, I'm telling you, the faster it goes. And being that we're in quarter two of the year, I thought I would take a little bit of a look ahead for Nintendo Switch titles, the games that we know currently we can expect this year. This is obviously before E3 comes and gives us a bunch of new games, and I wanted to discuss the 5 games for the Switch that we know about currently that I'm the most excited for before the year ends. And of course there are some caveats. I mean, heck, I even made a video right at the beginning of the year about the 10 games that I'm the most excited for all consoles, throughout the entire industry, all 3 machines and PC and all that stuff. I want to focus a little bit more back on Nintendo and the Switch, and like I just alluded to a minute ago, E3 has yet to come, so I thought it would be fun to do this before E3 arrives, before we potentially get some sort of new surprises or reveals, games that we maybe didn't know about. There's also a huge title that I am making the decision to leave off of this list, and that is Mortal Kombat 11. Now, the reason I'm leaving Mortal Kombat off of this list is because it truly would have been in my top 5 of Nintendo Switch games that I want to play on the Switch, I should say, first and third party. But that game comes out in like 2.5 weeks, and so I felt with that game being right on the horizon that wouldn't leave enough time for the other games on this list to shine. So I figured I would just mention Mortal Kombat 11. I am super pumped. I cannot wait to play it on my Nintendo Switch. But I'm deciding to not discuss that one today and instead focus on 5 games after Mortal Kombat 11 releases at the end of April that I'm the most pumped for this year. So let's go ahead and begin this countdown and talk about all the good stuff coming. We're going to start off with number 5 for the Nintendo Switch, and for myself, that is Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Now, this one is a no-brainer for me because it's one of the biggest and most high-profile Nintendo Switch games we knew to expect going into the year. Of course, it was supposed to come out last year and unfortunately got delayed to 2019. And in the most recent Nintendo Direct, we finally found out when that game is going to be coming. Like I said, that's coming out in July, basically a month after E3. And I'm a big Fire Emblem fan, you know. I don't typically play a whole lot of strategy and RPG kind of games, but Fire Emblem specifically really works for me. And I think what they could potentially do with that series on the Switch is very exciting. Everything they've now finally shared with us about the story and some of the new mechanics for 3 Houses looks great. I do want to find out more about some of the new mechanics, but overall, I trust them to make a really fantastic game. I also don't have the most extensive history with Fire Emblem as a franchise. I do have some experience with the 2 Fire Emblem Radiant games that showed up on the GameCube and the Wii, and also quite a bit with Awakening, and I played through Fate's Birthright, and I loved that game. I mean, I liked them all. The old Path games, the Radiant games, I should say, I really was not prepared for what those games were, so I didn't spend much time with them. But the 3DS games I played, I thought are fantastic, and so I'm really excited to see this game, this series actually coming to the Switch, not the spin-off like Fire Emblem Heroes, a true, actual Fire Emblem game on the hybrid Nintendo Switch. I just think it's going to be amazing, and so for me, it's my 5th most anticipated game still to go this year. Coming in at number 4 is Luigi's Mansion 3. Yo, this game, you guys, I'm so excited for Luigi's Mansion 3. I have a great history and memory of playing the first Luigi's Mansion when the GameCube was brand stinking new. I traded in my N64 to buy the first one that I could find at a store where I lived in Denver at the time, because for weeks upon weeks they were sold out. You couldn't find any. And once I found a store that had one, I was like, hold up, hold on to this thing. I'm going to go back to my apartment and grab my 64, come back and trade it in, and I'll pay off the rest. And that's exactly what I did. And the games that I got was Wave Race Blue Storm and Luigi's Mansion. And I thought Luigi's Mansion was awesome. In fact, even though I really love the Dark Moon sequel on the 3DS, I still think the original Luigi's Mansion is the better of the 2. And now we're getting Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch, and it's just a series and a franchise and a game that just speaks to me because of my awesome memory of playing that original game. And it looks like, with what we've seen so far, they're not going to do anything too fancy or crazy, which I think is the right way to make a Luigi's Mansion sequel. You don't need to throw in this insane amount of new mechanics and try to change it too much. Take some small steps and some small evolutions like what they did with Dark Moon, but still make the core experience and the look and the sound and the feel like the original game. And it seems like that's what Luigi's Mansion 3 is going to do, based off the 30 frickin' seconds that we've seen of the game. I'm not somebody who necessarily needs a whole bunch of different mansions like Dark Moon did. I wouldn't mind one massive, insanely crazy and convoluted mansion to have Luigi stuck in. That would be great. Take the same concept of the first game and make the mansion like 5 times the size of that original game, and it would be amazing. It's basically like if you could have a Zelda game that was just one massive dungeon. That was this huge, crazy big puzzle, and that took you, I don't know, like anywhere from 15 to 30 hours to go through. I just think that sounds like a lot of fun and really cool, and so I hope that's what Luigi's Mansion 3 turns out to be. So for me, I'm super pumped, and it's number 4. Now, coming in at number 3 is a tricky one because I really struggled with where I wanted to place this game specifically. It jumped all over the map, and I still question this spot, but I had to make a commitment and stick to something, so this is what I've decided to do. And so for me, at number 3 is The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Now, this is a game I'm dying for because A, it's Zelda, and I love The Legend of Zelda, my second favorite franchise of all time, and B, it's a remake of a game I've never played. Yes, even as a diehard Zelda fan, I have never played Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. And I'm very sad about that, but now I'm excited to see what they're doing with this brand new remake, and I am over the moon for the graphical style, you guys. I know that there's been some controversy and some people aren't a big fan of it, and they think that it means the game shouldn't be sold at full price and all of these things. That's not really my take. I think it looks beautiful. I think it looks worthy of full price, although I'll happily take a discounted price if Nintendo wants to sell it for that. But either way, I'm so in support of what they're doing, and I'm very, very excited. Now, the only reason this didn't come in at number 2 or even number 1 is just because it is ultimately a remake, and it's not truly a brand new game, even though I think it's going to feel like a brand new game to a lot of people, myself included. We know that it's a remake, so it's not adding any new lore, it's not doing anything super special. Even though I love the gameplay that I've seen, it's not doing the big 3D crazy thing like Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. It's still doing this isometric top-down sort of restricted kind of gameplay mode. And while I have no problems with that, it does keep it from being in that top echelon, that top tier of Zelda games and Zelda excitement. And I also am curious how long the game is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if the game is fairly short. I could be wrong on that, but just going off of my guesses now based on what we know, I think there's a chance it's not the most substantial Zelda game. So while I'm dying for this game and I expect it to be damn near a masterpiece, for me, it comes in here at number 3. Now, coming in at number 2 is going to be probably a pretty big surprise for you guys, and it's also the only third-party multi-platform game on my list, and it is Doom Eternal. Another game that we don't have a date for, but right now is expected to come out in 2019, and right now they are stating that the Switch version is going to launch alongside the other versions. We know that these things sometimes change, but right now, that's the plan, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am like so excited for this game. I think 2016 Doom Reboot, whether it's Doom 4, Doom Reboot, whatever we want to call it, Doom 2016, that game is a masterpiece. And I raved about it then, I was addicted to it then, and I am so excited to see the sequel coming, regardless of the platform, but luckily there is a Switch version, so I'm excited to be able to put it on this list here. I just can't wait to play Doom, this crazy-looking sequel. All the new mechanics are throwing into more of the same crazy, fast-paced demon-killing action. It's just going to be so cool, and it's going to be great portable. That's part of the reason I'm making this list about Switch games specifically, because these are games that I'm excited to play not just on my TV like a normal game, but also portably if I want to. And I do play my Switch portably around my house quite often. And knowing that I'm going to be able to play the new Doom sequel anywhere I want to, even on the go, just has me really excited. I think that Bethesda is going to knock it out of the freaking park with this game. They surprised everybody with how good Doom 2016 was, and everything we've seen from the sequel looks like the same, only much, 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 much better, if you can believe it. I have no reason to doubt the quality of this game. It's awesome and a great win to see it coming to the Switch. So for me, I'm super pumped, and it comes in at number 2. And so coming in at number 1 is another third-party game, but make no mistake, this third-party game is not multi-platform, it's exclusive to the Nintendo Switch, and we're talking about Astral Chain from Platinum Studios, coming out on August 30th this year. This was revealed at the end of the last Nintendo Direct. Everyone lost their mind. Nintendo has been doing crazy promotion online, constantly tweeting about it, sharing screenshots, reminding people of the release date, getting us all pumped. And what more needs to be said about this game, you guys? It looks beautiful. It looks like a ton of fun. It's coming from Platinum Studios, a time-tested kick-ass developer. And the fact that it's exclusive to Nintendo is a great win for the console for sure, and another game that we get to play either on the TV or in portable handheld mode. I mean, and we have to remember, Bayonetta 3 is something waiting in the wings as well, and I've discussed that on a video a couple of weeks ago. Right now, while that game might be 2019, it's not yet confirmed, and I'm starting to believe it really might be a 2020 release. So, since at the time of this video, we don't know if Bayonetta 3 is a 2019 game, that's why I can't include it on this list, and it's why Astral Chain instead is taking this win here for Platinum Studios as my most anticipated game. I love Platinum Studios games. I love the action this game looks like it's doing. Again, the visuals and the aesthetic, it's so anime-inspired. It's like futuristic cyber cops fighting these big monsters and demons. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if this was its own anime. It seems like an anime series, but it's not. It's just an awesome-looking action game. I mean, and so, you know, you're watching gameplay footage here. I'm sure you've seen it. I feel like it's impossible as a gamer to look at a game that looks this freaking cool and not be over the moon excited. Platinum has rarely let us down, and even when they haven't really made that bad of a game. They've just made kind of a disappointment, but nothing that's a total stinker. For the most part, these guys are grade A, almost perfect, man. They just don't really make bad games, and they have a great relationship with Nintendo. They make great exclusives for Nintendo. Bayonetta 2, The Wonderful 101, now we've got Astral Chain, and we got Bayonetta 3 coming sometime after that. I mean, the hits just keep coming. The list goes on. And so for me, although it's a shocker that it's not a first-party game, here in the second quarter of the year, my most anticipated game still for the Switch to play is Astral Chain. And so, there you go. That's my list. Those are the 5 games that I can't wait to play in 2019 on the Nintendo Switch. There are a couple of other games we know right now to be excited for. One of the big ones for me is Daemon X Machina. I really can't wait for that game. I did enjoy the demo, even though there's still a little bit of work to fine-tune. Some other big games that are coming, like Animal Crossing and Pokemon, I know are huge games that a lot of people are excited for. I'm not really the biggest fans of those franchises. I did state on the Spawncast I'll play one of the Pokemon games, and so I am going to pick one of those up and play it for my first Pokemon game ever. So that'll be cool. But I'm not, like, hyped for it, because I just am not really familiar with or a big fan of Pokemon or Animal Crossing. That's a series my girlfriend can't wait to play, so we will still have that in the house. But, yeah, either way, I don't know. It's a great year for games, man. All consoles have so much to play. The Switch obviously has a lot. E3 is going to give us even more. It's going to be a great time to be a gamer and a great time to be a Switch fan. So, that's what I think. Those are my 5 games. Please discuss what you think of my list, as well as share your own games that you can't wait to play on the Switch in 2019. And with that, this video is a wrap. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Ro2R, and I'll catch you next time on another video.